Secretary General of the AFTA Secretariat, Wamkele Mene, is making a strong case for African countries to develop a new approach to ensure sustainable development. Speaking at the 13th edition of the Ghana Economic Forum, he called for robust policies to ensure African nations are not vulnerable to global market fluctuations and persistent socio-economic challenges. There's more on the following report.
Wamkele Mene's call comes amid concerns that current measures being implemented are failing to fully leverage Ghana's vast potential, highlighting measures that should be taken at the 2024 edition of the Ghana Economic Forum under the theme Unlocking Opportunities, Re-engineering Ghana's Economic Model for Sustainable Development. He noted that the traditional economic methods, which is largely focused on resource extraction and export, has not delivered the broad-based development that Ghana needs, thus the need for a change.
There are three ways in which we can re-engineer Africa's economic model: industrial development, food security, that is agricultural development, as well as in the area of trade policy. Let me start with industrial development. Africa's industrial capacity must improve. We must trade more in value-added production, and we must consume what we produce and produce what we consume. In 2019, the continent of Africa imported $16.5 billion worth of pharmaceutical products. We imported these pharmaceutical products from other parts of the world, when in fact the capability to produce these pharmaceutical products, which are largely generic drugs, does exist here on the African continent.
David Ofosu-Dorte, business strategist and senior partner at AB & David, also called for a relook at the monetary policy rate as it is a disincentive to economic growth.
When you increase monetary policy rate, it is businesses who are already borrowing above 20% who suffer because the bank lending rate goes up. So it tends to drive down the business's ability to produce, which suppresses supply and ends up actually having the reverse effect. And I want us to rethink this. What do we do to change our behavior? For example, how do we stimulate local consumption and stimulate consumption of locally produced foods? How do we ensure that banks don't, for example, take advantage of monetary policy rate increases to actually make more profit by increasing lending rate? A monetary policy rate approach is Western countries designed, and their advanced systems and their behavior is different from ours.
For stakeholders here, re-engineering or restructuring Africa's economic model to ensure economic growth will not be without any challenges. They acknowledge that it will require coordinated efforts from both government and the private sector and a relook at policies to sustain the economic development achieved so far. For CNR Business, my name is Nete Ajahu.